Hey, what's up, everyone? Back in town, actually back home, and been working on the projects that I was shown before. So this is the Rio Grande Southern Galloping Goose. It's a precision scale model. So I put all the SMDs in there in the front. Got it all wired up with the DCC. It's got a Digitrax 126D decoder along with a Keep Alive. And I did add lights to the rear one as well. It runs okay. I mean, it's kind of hit and miss sometimes how it wants to run, but the Keep Alive keeps it going. So it doesn't really stall out. It just seems like there's something binding in the mechanism. But it's still a work in progress. I'll eventually figure it out. And then the next one I got is the PFM K27. So this one I just soldered and did all the wiring and put the plugs in. So it's all, you can disconnect the shell or the top from the chassis. So when I go to paint it, I don't have to disconnect a bunch of wires. So just unplug it and it's ready to go. This one actually runs pretty good. It's a little noisy, but it runs pretty good. And that's the one I bought. It already had the Northwest Shortline motor. And from what I can tell, this thing probably doesn't have a lot of runtime on it, because the plating on the wheels is still pretty intact. So I still have to do the headlights in the front and the marker lights, but I'll probably do that in the next couple days. And this one used to have a light to the rear, but the only one that Rio Grande had was 453, and you can see that's already over there with the doghouse and a light on the rear. I'm sorry, the only one that had a doghouse was 453. Some of them had lights. So I took the doghouse off. I put that brass plate, I think I showed that in my other video, and then covered up the hole for the rear. So this is going to be 461. After researching and realizing on my last video that this is actually an outside cylinder, which means if you look here at the bottom, you'll see how the outside, or the cylinder kind of pokes to the outside. That's considered an outboard, and then an inboard would be facing in, and this upper cylinder would be facing out. At least that's my understanding. Could be wrong. Who knows? So the other one I've been working on that I'd gotten was my K37, and I don't know why, but I really like the K37s. It's kind of a, like I've said before, it's just a unique locomotive. So this one's all ready to go. I may do a little bit more detailing to it, but I end up, as you can see, I end up putting a coupler on the front there. It's just one of the dummy ones. It's really hard to get a coupler to fit on this model. The other thing I did was, if I can get in there, as you can see, I got a headlight in there, and then you can actually see the marker lights. So the green lights there are actually fiber optic tubes down to the front. I tried putting the SMDs in there, and it ended up shorting out in the front, hitting the brass casing. And I spent about a day trying to track that one down. I ended up burning up a decoder with trying to troubleshoot and figure out what it was, and then finally I did. I also rewired this thing completely just because I couldn't figure out what was going on. And so I ended up not doing the USB plug on this one. I just took it out and I just went for the standard. I think I can't remember the brand, but you can see they're micro plugs that just make a connection. I just wasn't sure what was actually shorting out. I wasn't sure if it was the micro USB or what have you, so I ended up just taking it all apart, rewiring it, and I got it to work. So I'm just going to leave it this way. But this one also runs pretty good. So short of a couple little details here and there, this one should be ready for paint. I'll probably just paint one of these at a time between the K27 and this one, and just in case something goes wrong. And then the other thing I showed, there's my the Rapido 8-40C, and then along with the SD60F there, the Bowser. And I actually did get one more thing here. I had ordered this, I don't know how long ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago. I'm just going to duck under here. But it's the Athearn Genesis. It's a SD60E. And it's the honoring first responders. So this one I actually got. I usually don't get sound, but I just got it because by the time you put a regular decoder in there, I think they're about 160, 170 Emerson, or the price I can get it at. And this one was like $229 with the sound. So decoder's $20. So you know, I just figured out I'll just put sound in it. So this is the Tsunami 2. It sounds a lot better than the standard Tsunami ones. Here, I'll get it moving. Let me grab a controller. I got it paired with my other NS engines. It's SD70 that I painted, and then another SD70 that I painted. And I got off the train show. These were probably 3 years ago. Completely detailed and painted them. I got them for about $30 a piece. Athearn Genesis. Some guy just didn't want them. So this is the Athearn now is doing LEDs in all their locomotives. And it's definitely a big improvement. The LEDs the ditch lights aren't the brightest. They're not, you know, as bright as compared to the ones that I normally put in. As you can see, that's what the ditch lights that I put in. I think they're the 0402s, but see, they alternate. It sounds good. It's also got the number boards that illuminate. Kind of dim, but it runs well. I really like the paint and the details, and they're starting to. I don't know how long they've been doing this, but they actually put the etch steps in. That's something that they haven't done before on Genesis models. At least I don't remember. So that's usually something that I always put on mine. It makes a huge difference in looks, I think. Nothing else has really changed. I got a couple new vehicles, like this Mercedes there is new. And then I got this delivery van. That one's new. I think they're Model Power, I want to say, is the ones that make it. And I just got the one of my CSX helper units. This is another one that I painted. This one I painted probably in the last year or two. It's SD45-2, and completely redetailed it. It's got a cannon cab, all the LED lights. It was a model that I didn't really like before, but I actually really like it now. I like this paint scheme. I think it's one of the CSX's better ones. So, anyways, thought I would give an update. So hopefully, come the next couple, I'd say a week or so, I should have probably the K37 painted. And then I can work on the K27. And I still have the passenger cars I need to detail and paint up. But just wanted to give you guys an update. See you later.